27th, and we are going to be drawing something green. I love how everyone has put images in here. The one of Vietnam is screaming to me, so I think I'm going to do Patricia's Vietnam and mix some greens. So let me just grab some water. My table is a little bit of a mess from yesterday's session with the Walk for Peace. I'm going to just pull you guys up, oops, on here because I did not open my computer. I'm down here a little bit late. But that's okay. Nobody's in any hurry in the morning, right? So thank you to everybody who came out yesterday. That was a wonderful session to draw with you guys, and thank you. My paper is so stiff. So I have to lay this flat. I think I'm going to spray the back and lay it flat. So these are the very quick watercolors that I did of the monks who are walking for peace across America. And if you're a paid Substack subscriber, you can get the replay, or if you did come to the session, the replay is in the Padlet that was sent out with the email, so that has been uploaded. Hi, good morning, Martina. Okay, so that was that. We had a really great session also with our Hobonichi Club. Thank you, Louise. And everything is falling on the floor. And yesterday, where are we at? I haven't been doing the quotes. I guess they've been taking up a lot of time, but the quotes are not too difficult to do. And then I'll do a flip through of the final one. So yesterday's was coffee shop, and we did that in our Zoom session with everybody. Good morning, Nanette. Hello, Joanne. And today is green, the color green. I'm always so happy when spring comes and we see green again, because right now there is not much green. Maybe some dark green of like fir trees and things like that, but not the same fresh. You know, I'm sure in Germany you're getting some spring already, maybe, or maybe in the Netherlands. I'm sure there are some little seedlings sprouting. All right. I just put my apron on. Yeah, a little bit behind this morning. Let us know what you are using and which image you are doing today. I have so many green images on my camera roll, but I really love this one. Vietnam is definitely a place that I would love to travel to. Love, love, love. Joanne says, nope. No sign of green yet. Hippo says in West Europe, spring comes in March. Yeah, but sometimes England sometimes has things in February come up. I don't think. Good morning, Louise. Honestly, having lived in England and then having lived in Spain and then having lived here, I can truly say it is so much greener in your countries in Western Europe than it is here. Truly much greener. We're talking about green. And do you have a favorite shade of green? If people are here and painting green with us, green things. I actually have the acrylic gouache that Scott, I feel like I have to use them because some of them are they're quite goopy or goopy. So I'm going to be using those. My beautiful mix. Actually, I may pull out a palette paper just so that you don't, it's not so gross. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. I have this tray on this side, but I think I may move it. Like, I feel like it's restricting me because I use my palette paper anyway. I like the tray. Don't get me wrong. I like it, and I like it for mixing. But this is definitely more convenient. So I think I may just move that eventually. And now this is kind of in the way. Can I pop it underneath? Yeah, I can do that. All right. And I've got messy messies on here. Okay, so the greens that I've got, and I'm going to be pulling some oranges and reds and dark greens, because you can change greens a lot by adding red or by adding more yellow or more blue. So I'm going to get all the colors out that I feel like I could. This one is rock hard. I'm not going to use that one. That I feel like I can use to adjust. Oh, and then this bright yellow. This needs using too. It is very, very chunky. I think this one is the same as this one, so I don't need two of those. All right, and then maybe I'll take a permanent red as well with that. I don't want black. I could take purple, but I think that's enough. Louise says her favorite green is olive or sage green. Good morning, C. How are you? Good morning, Angie. How are you? I know who it is. You love so many greens, it's hard for you to choose. Nanette, I just want to say, because I know everybody knows that you're coming to Italy with me, but they just guaranteed Italy. The trip is guaranteed, so it's happening. I mean, it was going to happen no matter what, because I feel like, you know, there's going to be, the rooms are going to be filled, or we were going to just do our thing. But yeah, it's been guaranteed, so I'm so happy about that. If anybody wants to come to Italy. All right, so let's get started. I think I'm getting a lot of glare on my, and I think I've adjusted my big light, which is, you don't get any glare, which is good on this screen, but I get a lot of glare. I really do have to fix that's what I'll do when I get back from Mexico, fix my iPad screen. All right. That's better. Now I can see the image. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer. And I'm just going to do that. Maybe make it, I think I'll make more green down here and less sky. So just shift it slightly. Hippo says, congratulations. And Nanette says, oh, yay. Yeah, I'm really, really excited. I mean, we've booked everything. We've booked, right? We've booked our flights. We've booked hotels prior and afterwards. So it's nice to have that planned and to know that it's going ahead. Good morning, Michelle. How are you? Okay, I probably don't need all of this. I'm going to take smaller amounts because I do actually want to do a bit of a scraping with that brighter green, because we have some brighter greens on here. need to take some sandpaper to my scrapers and sand them down. I don't want to throw them away. Okay. Let's just get I hope you all enjoyed the session yesterday with the monks. If you didn't get to it and you can't find it on my Substack, let me know and I'll help you find it. It's just a really lovely way to focus on peace, really. I know. We were going no matter what. It's so true. It needs to be lighter. That green is quite dark. Is there a replay of the monks? Yes, there is a replay of the monks. I put it in the Padlet that I sent you guys. It's in there. And everybody who signed up will have gotten that Padlet as well. All right. Let's see. I don't have any white on here. I'm going to try and... No, I'm going to need some white eventually. But I just want to show you how... And these aren't traditional blue. That's not a traditional blue. That's the only thing with working with acrylic gouache. They have all these funky colors. So... even if I have my bright, then I take that blue, you're going to get a different green that you don't have. And then I don't think I'm going to use this green. I need to push it back, make it more neutral. Just a touch, like let's see, that was a lot. But that will push it back. I love how the red can change those colors so well. I think people always think, oh, I'll just add black to the green to make it darker. But that doesn't really work. It makes it darker, but then it makes it muddy. You don't want a muddy green. So I still want this area to be like almost have a little bit of texture. Notice how closer to the horizon the lines go more in that direction. So that'll give you that sense of perspective. And then they fan out as they come closer to you. Good morning, Amy. How are you? I do love the gray against also the sky being gray, so I am going to get my white, which was right here. How can things disappear? Oh, it's behind me. If I had my camera on forward facing, you'd be like all screaming at me going, it's behind you. Okay. The email with the Padlet for February will be going out later today. So keep an eye out in your inboxes. Probably won't go out until this afternoon. So it's grey but blue grey. I go over that top. You know, it's that color of sky when there's not lots of heavy clouds, but it's just, it has a layer of clouds. So there's, I mean, you can see that there's still a lot of sunlight. It's not blue sky, it's cloudy. Oh my goodness, I saw some reels of, I didn't realize that Toronto, because we live about 40 minutes away from Toronto, that it had that much snow. Did you see my reels this morning? Woof, crazy. Like all my stories this morning. That one image of where the plow was going through one street, that reminds me a little bit of what Maine went through a couple of years ago. Do you remember that? See here? Amy says, all right, yes, the fan is good to see with this. What fan? Did I miss something? Oh, the fan. Yes. Good description of the perspective. It's like a fan. It is totally like a fan. That's one thing I am packing, and I always forget to pack, is, you know, one of those traditional fans. I have a couple, and you know, you never know when you need a fan. You know, when you're on the plane and sometimes there's like, ooh, it suddenly gets so hot, the air conditioning isn't working. Well, that's when you need a fan. And then if you go to a country and you're feeling very hot, it's just easier to fan yourself with a fan rather than fanning yourself with a piece of paper. So it's a lot less effort. So put that on your travel tips. Actually, I've been watching travel tips. There's quite a few people that have these great travel tips. It's funny, you think I would use them or know of all of them, because having traveled a little bit, I need to speak to Patty. Patty is probably the best traveler with the least amount of things. You know, you could do that, Patty, if Patty's here. She could do that. She could be a consultant for traveling and packing, a packing consultant. Ooh, that could be a job. I mean, wouldn't you pay $50 for 10 minutes of somebody's time to just go through your stuff and then them tell you, nope, you don't need that. No, you got to do this. You got to do this. Because every time I pack, I get to the end of my packing, and then I have to take more things out because I can hardly carry my suitcase. I'm like, how does that happen? I really don't need too much, but it happens every time. I don't know if anyone else has that same issue. Okay, so see how I added to the green more blue and more yellow. So it's almost like having a purple first and then adding the green, and even that changes it. So I'm gonna also show you with a brighter orange. So I could mix my orange, but I've got one here, so let's try this. And I put this down because this is probably my darkest point. So I'm looking for my contrasts. So it's just like in photography, you have your darkest and your lightest points. The sky is my lightest, and then everything else has to be darker than that. And then you want to look for your darkest point and get that. You don't have to put it in, but I like to just go, okay, that's where it is. C said, maybe not $50, but yes. Really? I think for the amount of time somebody can save you time, I think it would be great. C says, so many snow memories with us is extra. Is extra? Like, does it bring back bad memories? I mean, that was a dumping, wasn't it? That you guys got. And look, Canadians even came down to help you guys. Okay, so I just mixed the green in with the orange, and then you get this really lovely, some people wouldn't call this lovely, but there's a line I can see right here of this color. Some people call this, I won't say what some people call this green, but I like it. Like it's a very neutral tone of green. I can put a little bit here as well. And actually there's a roof line over here that I'm going to put in. Piper, there is nobody outside, nobody awake. You don't need to be barking. Well, she's not really barking. She's like, can you hear her? Why are you barking? There's no one there. Oh, he can be a little bit bigger. Maybe not that big. Can you guys hear her? Piper, there's no one there. Hey, stop. With Zoom, it blocks it out, but I'm not sure if you guys hear her. Hey. And I can use this also for the ground down here. Somebody was saying yesterday how they love the drawing session, but oh my goodness, we all draw so fast. I think at different times we draw fast. Well, I'm not drawing fast now or painting fast, so it's not always. I like to do those sessions because it forces you to see, just things quickly on your page, and that's really good practice for the summer and the spring when you're painting outside. That's why I love those quick sessions. because it primes you to get ready for urban sketching. Oh, Joanne says it's nice to hear her. And yes, you hear her. And she says, yes, some funny memories, but not when, yeah, ice is in. We have beautiful fluffy snow right now. I know, I saw your picture or your little video. Nanette says, I would pay someone to help me with packing. And Nanette says, when you hike the Appalachian Trail, they have a pack shakedown early on in Georgia to help you get rid of items you don't need. Oh, so smart. That's so smart. I mean, like Patricia always says, you can wash your things in the shower. You can wash your clothes, just take some laundry detergent. And now I've got those sheets, so I'm going to just take a couple of sheets with me and do laundry. So this has definitely gone a little bit more on the sandy side, but I need that sand anyway. But that too, when you have like a bright orange, if you add a tiny little bit of green to it, then you're getting that, you're neutralizing the orange to be more neutral, obviously, if you're neutralizing it, to be more muted. Oh, thank you. You know, like it really is just practice. And that's why I love using the primaries, because you're forced to really mix your colors without, and I should use these before they dry up. I keep forgetting that these are not, gouache, they're acrylic gouache, so they're going to dry up, so I need to use them. Yeah, having the 3 primaries, and that also cuts down a lot of your supplies if you're painting on the go. If you just take those 3, you don't have to have all these, you know, a massive bag of paints. You can just have 3 colors and mix all your colors. Sure, you may have a favorite, like, you know, the fluorescents. You may have these favorites like the opera pink, or there's an orange that I love. I can't remember the name of it, but that could just be like a little extra. So I'm looking at all the darker areas. These trees in the background, even though you think they're as dark as this bit here, they're not. So I will take just a little bit more yellow, and let's take a little bit of that orange, and that pushed it back. And I'm going to just block in the big shapes. So I've moved him down. Actually, let's go past him, because I do like that composition where he's kind of, his hat is in the dark area. So I'm going to block that in. I don't know, honestly, I have no idea what she's hearing. I don't want to let her out. Hang on a second. You know what, it's windy outside, so maybe that's what she's hearing, is just the wind. Okay, and then I can go even a little bit lighter back here. Maybe not that light. See, that didn't last long, did it, Pipes? She's back again. I told you there was no one. I think she understands words. So when I say there's no one, because I say it when, you know, I want her to stop barking if there is somebody, she automatically thinks that there is someone. Dogs are clever. Like they, you know, they understand your reverse psychology, even though you think that they don't. Okay, I do want it a little bit darker back here. Just behind, there's an area where there's 2 trees in the foreground here, so I want just it to block that area out so that the trees in the foreground are going to stand out. And there are buildings back here, but I need to go in with a more of a muted tone, so I'll go in a minute. There's somebody by a bush over here. So I don't really see too much of this tree, but I can get some of the branches in. And the whole over here, all the back area that we see here is definitely more on the bluer muted tone, so adding more blue to my green, and then I can add a little bit of white. So do the mixing before you add the white. I can go a little bit lighter, and maybe a touch of this orange. So the orange is basically a quick way of adding red and yellow. Although I do like those brights in the distance. I may keep like just a little bit. And then also when you have a darker color, I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to adjust my edges by using this dark color to clean the edges. So especially when you're using a big brush, you can, so see how I've just done a basic line there? To create the illusion of a hand, I can put the little area where his sleeve is and then come in like that, so that it, you know, it gives you a silhouette that your brain recognizes. And that's where the whole shape thing comes in. Okay, taking this yellow. I don't need the bright yellow, so I'm just going to go into it with some of this color. Make it a little bit lighter, because these up here can go slightly lighter. That's the thing. When it's a little bit goopy, it's hard to mix. Okay. And I've got a lot on my brush, I know. Let's take that off. Don't want to rinse it off, but I can just use my scraper to get it off. I want to keep that nice bright area, but not everywhere. Just, I do want to use, go in slightly. That can be darker. I'm going to darken that around his body and also darken his body. Let's take this green and just make more lines back here where the little houses are. This green is also good for like a corn green. And block that in. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Melissa. Good morning. Standage's Lisa. Is it Lisa or Laura? Remind me. I can't click on your name. I should know. I should know. Our prompt today is green, if you are joining us. Good morning, Tammy. Hi, how are you? Ah, Sue says, my traveling friend uses shampoo for washing clothes when she's traveling. Good idea. Scott says, dogs can see and hear things we do not. Yeah, that just, it doesn't really make me uneasy because I feel like I believe in spirits that are around us. So it's not like I don't believe. And, you know, my parents-in-law, they were living with us and that, all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if she does hear things that I don't hear. I totally believe that. And I guess it could be someone on the street as well, but that's at the other side of the house. So yeah, thanks for that, Scott. Lisa is Lisa. Hi. So yeah, so we are, I can make that, actually, that area more of this color. Because the prompt is green, I love this image from Patty. So that's why I wanted to do this one. It just screams a lot of different greens. So I'm just trying to show, actually we probably didn't need this, and see how this is a deep green. That's pretty much, you know what, I'm going to take a little bit out and you'll see. It's pretty much what we mixed. So that's why you don't need all the colors. You really don't need all the colors. Okay. Let's take a little bit more of this. And a little bit more white into there to lighten that up. Then we do a whole green, like I think that was a prompt a while ago, and didn't we mix up? I'm sure we did. We mixed as many greens as we could on a page. That was a really fun exercise. I don't know where that sketchbook is, somewhere. Lisa says, I'm right by the AT, but in New Jersey. What's the AT? Is that, what is that? Coming from Canada, but not a Canadian. So I know that Canadians learnt a lot of American history at school. You'd be surprised. They know a lot of American history. Not sure if it's the same now. And I'm not sure if it will ever be the same. Okay, let's get some darker areas. So now it's really about texture. Oh, I do want to darken the front of the guy with the wheelbarrow. So I could take those two colors and, well, because I already have a green, I could mix that in to make it even darker. And if I wanted to make it, I should make it more on the burgundy side, I think. Okay, and this is I'm trying to show you that you can still use like one brush or a big brush for all of this. I'm going to correct his sleeve on the other side. And then I see this, look how much darker this is than here. So you can push your darks even further, the contrasts. And you could stop at this point, or you can go much further with this and make it into a hyper realistic painting. But this is just the basic, like, let's get the shapes in and then we can put details. But I kind of like this at this point to stop, or very soon. Yeah, I think it's the wind. I can hear. So we have, like, you know, vents. I have a vent in here. There's a vent in the bathroom. And when it's very breezy outside, those vents, like, they clank. They go click, 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 click. Well, they don't clank, they click. And I think that's what she's hearing. So I just left the door open now. She's a bit quieter because the door's open. So because I put that, all the layers in the background, now I can put the tree or whatever this is here. I'm going to pull it down a little bit more. It's like a little group of trees or branches. And lighten the bottom here, change that, get some shadow in over here from the tree. Michelle says, I've always loved wheelbarrows. They are underrated and so handy. They are very underrated. Everybody should have a wheelbarrow. We don't have a big yard and we have a wheelbarrow. It's amazing how you can transport stuff, right? And not put your back out because of it. Okay, so I'm mixing that color into the green to get more of like a muted tone, but a dark muted tone. So now I'm putting in the textures because that's what I love to do after I put in all the basics. So now you bring your piece to life by understanding what things are with just shapes. I think I can put a little bit of shadow underneath there too. And I have to keep in the greens because we're painting green. It should, oh, that's not very green though. Maybe I'll change. No, I think I can leave it. The majority is green, right? I think that's the most important thing. The majority is green. Thank you, Messy Jessie Warren. I think it also, this kind of painting goes to show that you don't have to have, you can go through your camera roll and you can really just pull out images that you've taken and create little scenes. I do love when there's a figure in it. I think it really does bring the image to life. So thank you, Patty, for that. I think it really helps having just some figures in an image. Let's take a little bit of this color. Oh, and also I want to take some of this darker color. I think I need to spray. So you really want to play negative to positive and then back again, positive to negative when you're looking at these shapes, because it is all about that. Like maybe not when you're doing like a big area, but like along this edge, like you want to look at what's dark, the shape of the dark, how does it react with the lighter area, Is there a transition from dark to light? Is there another color? If this is your first time here, welcome. I've been here for the past probably three and a half years. And then before I was on Instagram Live. So if you're just here for the first time and you've found me recently, welcome. You can go through, I think I have 400 lives now, which is quite a lot. But it's lovely that if you want to say where you're from, it's nice to hear where you're from as well. Okay, I'm gonna take this. See, this is where I don't love these because they dry so quickly. Let's take a little bit of the orange into the green to make it more of like a brown. But I'm trying to mimic the roofs. You can see that is very similar color. It's not really it's still green, so I feel like I can push that into there, into it being still in the green. And there's really just a very subtle difference between that color and the green. Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit more of white. Oh, thanks, Nanette. Yeah, give me a thumbs up if you're here watching. I would appreciate a thumbs up. Amy says, reminds me of Gauguin Tahitian landscape. Well, thank you so much. I could have been looser, I think. I feel like it's still quite tight. I like that. I'm really enjoying. I'm liking the light on it. I'm gonna give, even though, see, I still need to put some texture in this area, but I think I'm going to maybe just give a little bit more shadow here. I think that would work. So let's take, now because it is on this green, I'm going to use a little bit of that orange to just create the shadow color. Now it's not there, but I'm just adding it. So what else was I going to do? Oh yes, I was going to just lighten this gray slightly. I'll add a little bit of green so it's we're still in the greens. And then there are things like this is what you forget to put in, because to me, like, my mind has completely ignored things like the telegraph or telegraph poles, telecommunication poles, where they have, you know, I mean, they need power somehow, but they're dotted throughout the field. Oops, that one's way too thick. And then we have the wires, which I think are important. So I'm going to get those in. Put some, like, change your pressure on your hand when you're putting these lines in, because some of them are in the distance. So they would appear to be much lighter. And that hat needs a little bit of shadow. Oh, look at the time. We are almost finished. Okay, honestly, I don't look at the time a lot. And usually when I come to near the end, it is around the time that we need to stop. So, pretty good. Thanks for joining, everybody, today. I will see some of you at 10 a.m. For my class. Oh, I can get a little bit more red in there. And just a touch more light. Actually, maybe I just take the white. Oh, thank you, Anne. I haven't finished, but I know that some people have to go. Because I do want to still get a little bit of edging. But just, you know, I could leave it just plain, but... Okay, and I'm just going to add a little bit more light on here. Sometimes white doesn't brighten. All right. I think I'm done. I really shouldn't play around with it too much more, because if not, I'll lose the freshness. Thank you for joining, everybody. And I will, thank you, Joanne. Have a nice day. You're welcome, C. Thanks, Scott. Thank you for the paints. I'm really enjoying them. Yeah, so much fun. Thank you, Martina. Lisa says, beautiful. Those greens really make me happy while I'm surrounded by snow. Me too, Lisa. It just, honestly, green is just a joyful color when you have 6 months of 6 months of snow. Do you do these live paintings on it? Yes. Jessie, Messy Jessie, I'm assuming your name's Jessie. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 a.m. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks though. I'm going to Oaxaca on an art retreat. I'm teaching next week. Can't believe I'm saying next week. It comes around so fast. So if you're interested in any art retreats, like especially this year, I still have a couple of rooms left. Italy and France, and they will be around the corner before we know it. One in June and one in September. Anyway, yes. So I'll be back. I'll be here tomorrow and I'll be here Thursday, and then I'll be back the week of the 15th. So if you go to the live tab in my, and subscribe to my channel, go to the live tab, you'll see months and months and months of a weekly, 3 times a week lives. And if you go into the description, you can have a look where all my links go. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Tammy. And lovely that you joined us, Jessie. Thank you. Have a really good day, everybody, and stay safe. Bye.